I'm here to give you guys the update on the Detroit Lions injury report. So they did hold their practice today. And neither Montgomery nor Jackson were able to practice again. So missing yet another, important opportunity to get into the game for Monday was having to suit up at least for one practice this week. The good news is the Lions are not putting either of them on injury reserve at this point, which in my opinion would suggest that they should be back sometime after the bye, preferably week 10. The issue that we have in the major development going on right now is two players that have been ruled out and some of the other guys that are dealing with some big bumps and bruises that this offensive line could be in big trouble on Monday night. Halapoulivaati Vaitai still struggling with his back issue. He's been the primary backup to Glasgow, and Glasgow was the primary backup to Vaitai to start the season. But now Glasgow's been a mainstay on this offensive line, and he's played incredibly well this season. The issue that we have is Frank Ragnow. He's now missed his third practice. So if Vaitai can't go, and Glasgow was the backup for Vaitai, well, now Glasgow's going to move down one more slot to center to back up Ragnow. The bookends are there. We have Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell, so we're fine on the ends. But the next guy that I'm going to tell you about, Jonah Jackson, who's been ruled out. So we don't have Jonah Jackson. Frank Ragnow may not suit up. So that's two very important roles on the center left side of this line, which is leading towards Jared Goff's blind side. We're good with Taylor Decker, but who's going to slide in and fill these roles that makes us feel comfortable, that allows this running game to work? Look, it's no secret, and I'm going to jump ahead of myself, but it's no secret that Gibbs is already an outside zone type of runner. With not having the interior of your offensive line there and knowing that you're going to have to run the ball more outside, the Raiders are going to be well prepared for that. So we're expecting a lot of outside zone on Monday, especially if this holds true and Frank Ragnow can't go. So let me recap that. Already ruled out David Montgomery, Jonah Jackson. On the bubble, Frank Ragnow. On the bubble, Vaitai. Both of those leaning towards not playing. Graham Glasgow is going to have to step in and back up Ragnow, be the center on Monday night, if in fact Ragnow can't go. Further complicating this whole situation is our backups. Look, we've got Coyote Awosika, otherwise known as Yodi. Colby Sorsdahl, rookie, 5th-round pick, who's played decent in his limited role. Dan Skipper, who's been around forever, he's obviously there. So they have a few options. But look, we know that Dan Skipper's not the greatest. And we know that Coyote Awosika lets a ton of pressure. Colby Sorsdahl is raw. He's a rookie. He's young. Hasn't had enough snaps. But when he's been in, he's played pretty well with pass protection. Run, not so well. Run blocking, not so well. So again, both bookends are solid. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, they're good to go. The interior of this offensive line is in trouble. So like the thumbnail said, we've got 2 out and 3 on the bubble. You've got Vaitai on the bubble. You have Ragnow on the bubble. And now we have one that just popped up. You won't believe it, but it's our 2nd-round pick who hasn't stayed healthy at all. Josh Paschal. He just gets in last week for the first game in a few weeks, and now he's back on the injury report. Popped up today. I think it's all more important that Brad Holmes does something with his trade deadline. Josh Paschal can't stay healthy. Levi Onwuzurike can't stay healthy. The interior and some of our edge positions for this defensive line are missing key draft pieces. So again, tomorrow, roughly about 3 p.m., I'm going to go live. We're going to do a live trade deadline analysis. We're going to see who started, who sat, who's not playing much. And we're going to decipher the code, for, if you will, and figure out what players are most likely going to get traded come Monday, Tuesday, if not Sunday. I think the Lions are probably going to be buyers before 1 p.m. on Sunday. We'll see. I think that it's definitely going to be telling, you know, like I've said all week long, who's going to be sitting come Sunday. Those guys are going to be the ones that are in trade negotiations or trade talks, or involved, I should say. Good news. Jerry Jacobs is back. He's good. He's completely off the injury list. Malcolm Rodriguez was still limited. He's questionable. Benito Jones was a full participant, so that's great. He's back. So let's recap it. Jonah Jackson is out. David Montgomery is out. Frank Ragnow is doubtful. Benito Jones is a full participant. Good to go. Josh Pascal popped up today. Kind of jinxed us yesterday, didn't I? When I said, I hope we don't get anybody that pops up. Malcolm Rodriguez, limited participant. He should be a go, no problem. Vaitai is listed as limited, but he's really battling a back injury that we all know he just went through a major surgery on and is out for over a year. Backs are a funny thing. One little pinched nerve, you can't even walk. So, not good. On the other side, the Raiders are looking pretty healthy. Everybody's a full participant, limited participant besides Divine Diablo. He has been already decided that he's out, which is great for Sam Laporta because that's going to help open up the middle of that defense. Excuse me. Jimmy Garoppolo, full participant. Nate Hobbs, he's questionable, should play. Marcus Peters, limited participant. There's a couple new ones that popped up, like Tyler Hall, Jacorian Bennett. Devontae Adams is good to go, full participant. Look, I'm really not worried about the Raiders' offense much. It's just the defense. Max Crosby has been on the injury list all week. He is a limited participant. I can't imagine that he's not going to go, unless he's going to be traded. So there you have it. That's our injury update today. And look, I can't stress it enough. The interior of this offensive line needs some help. We need better backups. I would not be surprised if Brad Holmes spends an early draft pick next year on the most unsexy pick ever, which is offensive line. But look, I'm cool with it. Keep building the trenches because that's where the games are won. Or he's going to go out and trade for somebody, whether it's now or he's going to find somebody in the offseason during free agency. We need some help on this offensive line, and we have expiring contracts coming up soon. And this trade deadline coming up on Tuesday, this defensive line needs some help. The DBs need some help. We were super heavy on DBs going into camp and coming out of camp with the initial 53-man roster. And we're getting thinned out. Time to reload. All right, I'm not going to get caught up in the weeds because I'll start talking for hours. I appreciate all y'all for joining us, for watching these videos, participating. Join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. We're going to be doing the live trade deadline show. We'll do some analysis on some players. It's going to be a little slow going because I'm going to be pulling things up because I can't pull it all up and do all the prep. I'm going to pull it up as we go. We'll talk about it. We'll take some phone calls. I want to hear what you guys have to say about the trade deadline, who you'd like to see on this Lions team. And we'll have some fun with it. So 3 p.m. tomorrow, I'll put a post out. I've already scheduled it, I believe, in YouTube, so you can follow it. If you haven't subscribed, look below. Make sure you have. Hit the bell for the notification so you know when our videos are popping or when we're going live. We really appreciate everything that you guys have done for us thus far. You've been incredible. You are the ones that are sponsoring and supporting this channel just by watching, and we appreciate it. So, all right, that's all for Rock Down Detroit Lions. And as always, hey, go One Pride and go Detroit Lions. And until next time, take care.